On June 11, 1997, the Utah Jazz prepared to host the Chicago Bulls in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The series was tied at 2-2, and the winner of this pivotal game would move one step closer to the championship. Fans packed the Delta Center, eager to see Karl Malone and John Stockton lead the Jazz to victory on their home court. But little did they know that they were about to witness one of the most iconic performances in NBA history, a game that would forever cement Michael Jordan's legacy.
We'll have more on this as the game progresses.
Any idea what the shot clock was?
And Jordan trying to slip it, and then took it back and hit. So Michael Jordan, despite visibly shaken by no 2.
Marv, Utah's got the quick start that they needed to keep the crowd into it.
And Michael Jordan.
The night before the game, Jordan's condition took a sudden and dramatic turn. Around 2 a.m., he woke up drenched in sweat, shivering and nauseated. His energy was completely sapped, and it quickly became apparent that something was seriously wrong. The Bulls' medical staff and trainers initially suspected food poisoning. Jordan had reportedly eaten a late-night pizza delivered to his hotel room, and some speculated that it had been tampered with intentionally. Whether it was food poisoning, the flu, or a stomach virus, the result was the same. Jordan was debilitated and in no shape to play basketball. By morning, Jordan could barely stand. He lay curled up in bed, a far cry from the fierce competitor who had dominated the league for years. The Bulls' head coach, Phil Jackson, and Jordan's teammates were gravely concerned. It wasn't just a matter of playing. They wondered if their leader could even walk onto the court.
He gets to the ball game, he's still dizzy, he's having trouble sitting up, he can't get much fluid or nutrients in him, and we're concerned.
It wasn't good actually to see him at all. He was suffering big time.
It was no doubt that I was going to play. You know, I just knew I wasn't 100%, and I was going to see how my game is going to alter because of that.
And he's probably going to play and he's going to score 40 points because that's usually what he does when he gets sick.
The Bulls fell behind by 14 early in the first quarter. When Michael Jordan left the game, he'd scored only 4 points.
Well, we're thinking that, hey, you know, this is okay. You know, we're going to be all right. Just keep playing your way through this.
He would just walk very slowly over the bench, you know, and then he just kind of sit on the bench like he was just exhausted.
During the course of the game, you know, agreement was that we just check in with one another, you know, and see how he's doing as far as rest stop periods.
Jordan came back to score 17 points.
Despite his dire condition, Jordan made it clear he was going to play. His determination was unwavering. As game time approached, he mustered the strength to get out of bed, and with the help of trainers and fluids, he slowly made his way to the arena. His face was pale, his eyes sunken, and his body visibly weak. Even the most optimistic Bulls fans feared the worst. When the game began, the Jazz capitalized on Jordan's weakened state. Malone, the league MVP that year, was relentless, and Stockton orchestrated Utah's offense with precision. The Bulls struggled to find their rhythm, falling behind by double digits early in the game. Jordan, usually the team's engine, looked lethargic and drained. Every movement seemed like a monumental effort. But then something remarkable happened. As the game wore on, Jordan's competitive spirit took over. He began to find his shot, scoring on a mix of mid-range jumpers, drives to the basket, and free throws. Each time he hit a shot, the crowd's roar grew louder, but it only seemed to fuel his determination. By halftime, the Bulls had clawed their way back into the game, largely thanks to Jordan's heroics. The second half was a battle of wills. Jordan's body was failing him, but his mind refused to give in. Teammates like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman stepped up, but it was clear that Jordan was carrying the team on his shoulders. He pushed through waves of dizziness, often retreating to the bench during timeouts to rest his head in his hands. The image of Pippen helping a visibly exhausted Jordan off the court would become one of the most iconic snapshots of the game. With the game hanging in the balance in the fourth quarter, Jordan delivered one of the most clutch performances of his career. He hit a pivotal three-pointer with less than a minute remaining, putting the Bulls ahead. The Jazz, stunned by Jordan's resilience, couldn't recover. Chicago held on for a narrow 90-88 victory, and Jordan finished with an astonishing 38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. all while battling an illness that would have sidelined most players. As the final buzzer sounded, Jordan collapsed into Pippen's arms, completely spent. The Bulls had taken a 3-2 series lead, and the flu game instantly became a part of NBA lore. Jordan's performance was a testament to his mental toughness, his unrelenting drive, and his ability to rise to the occasion no matter the odds. In the days that followed, debates raged over whether it was truly the flu, food poisoning, or something else entirely. But for basketball fans, the specifics didn't matter. What mattered was the sheer willpower and determination Jordan displayed on that night in Salt Lake City. The Bulls would go on to win the series in 6 games, capturing their 5th championship. But for many, Game 5 was the defining moment of the 1997 finals. It wasn't just a basketball game, it was a story of perseverance and greatness under the most challenging circumstances. Michael Jordan's flu game remains a shining example of why he's considered the greatest of all time. It's a story that continues to inspire athletes and fans alike. Proof that even when the odds are stacked against you, greatness finds a way to shine through.